Hey everybody. So this is the video for what will be our third week of distance learning, and as you know by now, we'll be doing this for quite a while still. So these are the assignments that will be due the week of April 6th. Right now I have it, I think some of them I have due, apologies for the cat intrusion. Some of these I have due for the 9th, which officially is the last day of next week since Friday is a holiday. I know at one point they were talking about having everything due on Mondays, but that was also when we were having the paper packets in person being picked up at the school. If anything changes, it'll be giving you more time. So I think I accidentally set something as due on the 10th, which, like I said, it's a holiday, so technically you don't really want to be giving you work that is due on the holiday. Sorry, apparently Minerva does not like you getting my attention even virtually. Just tried to take a chunk out of my arm there. Anyway, these assignments will be due at the earliest on April 9th. And obviously for those of you that are doing the paper version, if you're able to watch this, you're in a whole different situation, and we will get things from you when it's safe to do so. But anyway, for the online stuff, if we're trying to keep up with the deadlines, it's at least officially due that third week, the week of April 6th. So the good news, kind of, maybe is based on Mr. Hasselbach's suggestions. I'm trying to streamline things and have fewer specific assignments. I feel like overall the amount of work as far as time involved isn't necessarily going up or down, but having fewer things to keep track of at least. So for instance, we don't actually have any journals this week because we have other stuff going on, but in future weeks when we have journals, if I did give you 2 journals for the week, it would just be one assignment instead of being created as 2 separate assignments like we normally do when we do them in class. So not a huge change, like I said, in terms of the amount of work. I'm doing my best to keep it a manageable level, but as far as having so many different things to keep up with, whether it's on paper or on Canvas, trying to keep that to a bare minimum for everybody's sake. Really quick, I want to show you here, tried to add a little bit more information on the main screen in Canvas, like links for the video tutorials, which you are, please take advantage of those if you need some help, especially with some of these kind of newer things we have coming up, like the book project and the outline. But also I've got my school phone number on here, which goes through to my cell phone. So if you need to reach me during the day, you can call me there, or you can always email me. Okay, so as has become my new habit, I'm going to the calendar view on Canvas here now to see our assignments for the week all in one friendly place. So as far as what's actually due next week, just 2 things, but one of them is a little on the big side, the typed outline. So I had that on the checklist for last week, the week 2 checklist, just so nobody was trying to do it in 1 week. If you've been keeping up with the other parts of the research project over the last month, it really shouldn't be a task that takes more than 1 or 2 normal class periods. But I know with everything else that's been going on, we're not all in the same place that I wanted us to be. Well, we're literally not all in the same place, but we're also chronologically not all at the same point as far as having done all the reading and other steps of the research process. So like I said, if you have been keeping up with things, it shouldn't be too big of a task to get done in 1 week. But I did want y'all to have, a good reminder that this was coming up. So like I said, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail here because I mentioned it last week, and also have a whole separate video just about the outline, because I know this is a somewhat unfamiliar task for a lot of you. So there's the videos on here. There's also some resources, a sample that I've provided, a link to Purdue OWL, the online writing lab at Purdue University, which has a plethora of resources and lessons and things that can help guide you through this. And then a very simple but useful little template that you might use, especially if you're doing it on paper. You can use that template, but even if you're doing it as a Google Doc, it says typed outline, but again, I know that's maybe not possible for everyone right now. So it will not count against you if you have to do yours on paper. And like I said, the template was included in the paper packets that went home. But anybody is welcome to use that if you need to. Okay, so enough about the outline. I also have on the task list, just like with the outline, just kind of to have it on your radar, next week's big assignment, which is the Bookshare project. So this is the last assignment to go along with the independent novels that we're reading right now, those books that dealt with war in some way, the ones we got, hopefully for most of you at least, back before spring break. The big thing I want you to remember with this, and I mean this in a good way, but also kind of a little bit of a warning so that you can get the best grade possible. It's not a book report. We don't need all the details of what happened. Don't need a full summary of everything. I personally think the most useful thing to think about when you're trying to decide how to do this is a movie trailer. Not that I expect any of you to create videos right now. If you can, awesome. I love to see those. But even under the best of circumstances, I know that's a challenge for a lot of you and not something that everybody wants to do. But it's something we're all familiar with, and it gives you an idea of what kinds of thinking I'm looking for in this project, which is a little bit of an idea of what the plot is like. Again, don't need the whole thing, but enough of a preview of what it's like so that somebody could know if that sounds interesting to them or not. A little bit of an idea of what the characters are like, again, so that people could decide, oh yeah, those sound like characters I would want to spend hours getting to know better. A little bit of an idea of the mood and the tone and genre. You don't need to say the tone is this, the mood is this, the genre is this, but again, show at least in theory, your classmates. I'm going to see if there's a way that we can share them with each other on the discussion board and Canvas. But that will be an extra credit thing, since again, I know not everyone could do that right now if I were to require it. But anyway, again, the idea is just to share what the book is like and give people just enough of information so that they could decide for themselves, ooh, yeah, I really do want to read that. Or, I'm glad you liked that. I hope you liked yours. But I don't think that's for me. So again, you've got, in theory at least, lots of options as far as writing a review, making a poster. Please know that I will be as mindful as I possibly can when I look at these, knowing that you're working under very, very unusual circumstances right now. So I'm, as you probably know by now, always try to be pretty generous and understanding when it comes to like the pretty stuff on rubrics, because that's not a strength of mine. Um, and so I do not want that to be stressful for you. I know some of you are tremendously talented, so if you do want to um, draw or paint or digitally design or whatever, something gorgeous, I again would be ever so happy to see it. But for those of you like me who have very, very different strengths, don't, please, please, please don't stress about that being something that will hurt your grade. If it looks like you put any kind of reasonable effort under, again, these extreme circumstances, you'll get full points for that part of the rubric. Like I said, the main thing that I'm looking for here is that, again, you show us either what's so great about your book, or if maybe you're not completely in love with your book, what things about it would appeal to certain readers. Or if you really, really, really didn't like it, what specifically, without getting into spoiler territory, but what specifically about it maybe just let you down. Okay, hopefully I've talked enough about that. Maybe not much too much, but like I said before, I am doing my absolute best to be available through as many ways as possible. Like I said, regular phone, the video calls, whatever it is, to be able to answer your questions if you're freaking out about this, or not freaking out, just have questions. Okay, and last but not least, I want to talk about the actual assignment that's due this week, but it's at least one that we sort of are familiar with from before. So I know some of you are going to very much roll your eyes at the fact that I'm thinking about the next unit already. The reason I am, just like before when we were still reading Slaughterhouse-Five, but we went to the library to do the book speed dating, is just because if we are going to get actual books to you, that obviously takes a little bit of planning, and knowing who wants which books as early as possible helps speed that up. I'm going to be 100% honest with the news from the last couple days. I'm not 100% sure of what abilities I'm going to have to physically get books in your hands. So I'm making a few adjustments to how I would normally do this. The big one I want to make sure you're aware of right now is I will have an option where instead of picking your own novel, you'll just read a different short story each week. I'll choose the short stories and post them on Canvas. The first couple have already gone out in the, or I will have gone out by the time you're seeing this, in the paper packets for the next few weeks. So like I said, this wouldn't be until the week of April 20th is when we would start reading those new novels. I mean, you can start reading a new novel whenever you want. I'm not the book police. But when officially we would either start reading those new novels, or I would start providing you with those short stories. There will also maybe be some digital options for reading the novels if that's something you really decide you'd like to do. I know not everyone is as excited about reading books as I am, but I know some of you are, and I don't want a virus to take that away from any of us. So I will do what I can to give you the option to read a book for this last unit, a book that you choose for this unit. If I'm able to somehow physically get them to you, obviously that's normally how we would do it. Finding some digital versions might be another option. But like I said, everyone, whether you're doing online or paper-based, will have that short story option available for you, whether it's because you physically can't get the book, or you don't have the option to read it digitally, or you just don't want to. Whatever the reason, it will be an option for you. But that being said, I do want us to this speed dating activity, just because I think it's first of all, it's fun and harmless. But secondly, it might open up your eyes to a book that you might not have come across otherwise. And sorry, just making sure. Oh my goodness. Okay, cat's trying to eat the power cord right now, so I apologize. Anyway, so it is an activity that I think is useful, even if you don't end up deciding to go with this option. Okay, so now I'm going to try and make this bigger and try being the keyword, and show you how I've tried to modify it to do this without physically being together in the library with actual books in our hands. Obviously, there are much worse problems right now, but not being able to be in the library with books in our hands does bum me out, I'm not going to lie. So I won't read the full instructions to you there, because you're big boys and girls and you can read it for yourselves. But the important thing that you'll need to access to be able to do this digitally is the link to this Google Doc here. And I'm just going to make sure it opens in a tab, because, you know, technology and me. So just like before, with the war unit, I have by no means a comprehensive list, but you know, we would try to have a variety here. So all of these novels are dystopian, and normally when we were starting this in class, we talk about what that means. But it's a genre or a type of book and movie and video game and everything else, where if you think about the word utopia, where utopia is supposed to be a perfect world, dystopias, for the most part, some of these on here are not 100% in the archetype, but for the most part involve a future where the society or government has put things in place that are supposed to, being the keyword, key phrase, make things better and more perfect. But something has gone wrong where it has instead made things terrible and nightmarish. So some examples you've probably read before might be The Giver, or say The Hunger Games, where you have things that are supposed to be better and perfect, and maybe to the people that are in power it is, but you know, we usually pretty quickly discover once you start reading or watching or playing that for the common people especially, things are usually not as perfect as they're supposed to be. So anyway, all being said, there are a lot of different choices on here, and the way that I'm still trying to make this like the speed dating is that I've put links, and let's see if it'll let me click the links. You should be able to. The only reason I might be having trouble with it is because since I'm the owner of the Google Doc. So Sometimes it's weird. There we go. Got it to work. So it'll take you to the Amazon page for that book. And please, 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 please do not think I am expecting you to buy a book. Just like before, if you do choose a book, I will do everything in my power to make sure I get you either one of my copies or a library copy, or we find you a digital copy that you're able to read for free. The only reason I'm directing you to Amazon here, I am not getting sponsored by Amazon, trust me. Nobody's watching these videos. Is it has this little look inside feature on all of these pages. And the look inside feature lets you see all of the things that when we do the book tasting in the library, I didn't mean to actually choose that same book. I'll show you, there's lots of books, I promise. When we do this in the library, you know, we ask you to look at the front cover, the back cover, the first few pages, and voila, when you're here, you can see all of those things. It's not going to show you the whole book because that would be, you know, a whole copyright issue, and obviously they wouldn't sell it if they showed you the whole book for free. But all we need right now is to see those first few pages for you to at least, for the purposes of the assignment, decide if you'd be interested in that second date, if you think you'd like to read more of the book. So the questions on here are exactly like the ones. It doesn't look as pretty as the version that Miss Gabby gives you in the library, but the exact questions, except for here, I've had to like give you some checkbox answers. As always, the most important thing as far as when I give you a grade for this, and to be able to help you if you need help choosing a book, is the why. And please, even though I know, you know, all of us have books that we consider boring. Even I do. I don't love every single book out there, just a lot of them. But what specifically about it was uninteresting to you? Was it the style of the book? Was it the vocabulary of the book? Is it a topic that's just not interesting to you? Just, you know, give me a little bit to go on. So like I said, I did add a little bit here for you to tell me if you did find a book that you think you want to read. So again, so I can start figuring out if I can get a copy to you or how I can help you read that book. And like I said, I will do whatever I can within the realm of what's safe and possible right now to do that. But as I promised, you have the option here to choose that short story path instead of choosing a novel. So it's not both. You'd either, I mean, again, you read what, you know, as much as you want to. I'm never going to put a limit on how much you can read. But you'll either have a short story sent to you each week or provided for you on Canvas each week, or you'll pick a book. You don't have to read the book and the stories. But just if you let me know that you know, yes, you definitely want to do the stories, then I'll know, okay, that's one person I don't have to think about getting a copy of a book 2 or 4. So I think that's all I have to say about what's going on next week, which considering that there's fewer items on the checklist, I feel like I've been talking for a lot longer to myself and my naughty cat. Anyway, please, 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 please stay safe, stay healthy, make good choices, take care of yourself, take care of your families. And I will hopefully see you soon, I hope. Take care, guys. Bye.